Hi guys, it's Jacob Blizzard. I'm a board certified criminal law and criminal appeal specialist attorney practicing in Texas. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about some research tools you can use that you can find on the internet to help you in preparing your own 1107 writ application. So as you know, I've talked about grounds, I've talked about all of the things that go into a particular case. But if you yourself are going to be helping your loved one who's incarcerated prepare an application for writ of habeas corpus, you need to be able to do some research. Now, of course, if your loved one is doing the writ himself or herself, that can be done through use of the resources in the law library in the place where they're incarcerated. They'll oftentimes have a lot of books that have the legal statutes. They have case law books and give you an idea of what those look like. And you have things like this, Texas criminal codes, and this might look backwards on the mirrored image, but Texas criminal codes by O'Connor's is going to have all of your statutes and things related to that. That's often a good resource book-wise. If you're needing case law, of course, in the law library, you've got books like these. Criminal case reports, Texas criminal reports. This is a really old one. I just have it for antique purposes as a decor item in my office, but we have full sets of these. But in these days, we mostly use online research out here in the law practice. But in prison, they have law books that have cases in them, and they have Texas criminal codes that you can look at, and there's a whole process for doing that kind of research. But this video really is going to talk about the kind of research that you can do when you are on the outside and you are using online resources. Of course, if you have the money to spend, like I've said before, hiring an attorney is going to be your best path forward on an application for writ of habeas corpus. But if you can't hire an attorney and you need to pursue it on your own, there are some resources that you could delve into. By far, the two best legal resources for conducting research is going to be using Lexis or Westlaw. You can get a monthly subscription plan that's going to give you access to statutes, cases, secondary materials, which is just kind of commentary on the law and kind of guides. You can get access to all of those things on a monthly subscription for a few $100s a month for a single person. Law firms, they charge a lot more, and they charge by the attorney. But the Lexis and Westlaw are going to be your best bets. Don't do the pay by hour or pay by document fee model if they talk to you about that, if you talk to them, because it's much more expensive. It's something like $50 or $75 per document you download. They charge you kind of a per page fee. There's really no reason to do that. You really should just do the subscription for the duration of the time that you need to conduct research. And if it's a couple of months or 6 months even, it's worth it. They do often want a contract, so you may have to pay higher rates if you don't do a contract with them. Some other more practical resources for you guys is going to be something, some others that I'm going to go through today. These are not ones that we personally use in the law firm because they're less developed for lawyers and they're more basic in the content that they provide. But they are much cheaper, much more inexpensive for someone who's doing it on their own. And if you just need to find cases that would help support your position that you're trying to achieve in your particular case, then these things can be helpful. So those are CaseMaker is a good one, Casetext, FastCase, and Ross Intelligence. Those are all decent ones to try. The fees are relatively inexpensive. They're less than $100 a month for the most part. And always go with subscription model if you can over a pay per item or download. So those are some things to look at. Those are going to provide you with the statutes, the cases. It's not going to have as much in terms of secondary material, which again is like guidebooks and things that would kind of give you just a guide to the cases or guides to the statutes. It's just going to be literally the statutes, literally the cases, and it's going to be something you have to break down yourself in order to understand it. But that's a decent place to start. And if you guys have questions or comments about using these legal resources, let me know. Thanks. Talk to you next time.